Hey guys, welcome back to Michelle's STEM Journey. I'm Michelle and I'm here today with another AMC Problem of the Week video. This week's video comes from the year 2018, 10B, Problem 10, and it deals with geometry. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's get started. The problem states, in the rectangular parallel pipe shown, AB is equal to 3 and BC is equal to 1 and CG is 2. Point M is the midpoint of FG. What is the volume of the rectangular pyramid with base BCHE and apex M? So there are two ways to do this problem. One's super simple. So you just need to know that the volume of a triangular prism that encloses the pyramid is base times height over 2. And we know that that's equal to 3. And then we want the rectangular pyramid that shares the base and the height with the triangular prism. So that means that the volume of what we're trying to find is base times height over 3. But I'm going to do it, it's a little bit more complex, but it's easier to understand. And it also doesn't really take that long. So we're going to find out the total volume of this rectangular. So to figure out that, it's basically just length times width times height. So it's just it's just 6. And then the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use 6 and I'm going to subtract out the triangular prisms that are not within what we're trying to find, which is this section right here. You kind of have to look at it abstractly. And then the same thing on the other side. And then the base, like all of this. So I'm going to first find out the wedge-shaped section made when the plane BCHE cuts the figures. So basically, this section right here, this is a little triangular wedge. And so it's just a triangular pyramid with base EFB and apex M. So to find out the volume of this, and I meant volume right here, but to find out the volume of this wedge section, we just need to know base times height, and then you multiply that by 1/3. So the base is EFB. Well, we know that EFB is just 1/2 of the rectangle EABF. So the rectangle we already know. It's just 3 times 2, which is 6, and you divide this by 2, so it's just 3. And then times height, which is FM. Well, FM, we already know that's the midpoint of FG. Well, and we're given that FG is equal to BC, which is 1, so it's just 1/2. And then you multiply this by 1/3. So the volume would be 1/3 times 1/2 times 30, which is just 1/2. And since this section has a volume of 1/2, well, the other wedge section over here with a base of HGC and a height of GM, that also has a volume of 1/2. So now what we're left with is just this section here. Well, if we see the plane HEBC that cuts this parallel piped rectangle in half. So that means that we know the volume of the total rectangular parallel pipe is 6. So that means that that's just 3. So now we can subtract this. So we use 6 minus 3 to get rid of this section. And then minus 2 times 1/2 because there are 2 triangular prisms. And that just gives us 2. So the answer is E2.